Okay, so we're actually back out again. We would normally be anyways, but not recording. The only issue is after I uploaded her morning video, I was watching it back, and unfortunately there was some issues with the audio. So I'm gonna do another quick video to test out a different setup with the audio to make sure that it's hopefully not broken. If it is, be sure to stop by the store later to try out a new cable. Hopefully I don't need a whole new microphone. But yeah, I'm gonna go over some of the basics that we do during the earlier morning walks when there's less distractions outside, less people, less cars, less dogs, just in general, just to practice some of the basics and things that are maybe easier for her to pay attention to when there's less distractions going on. Plus, it's a really good way in the mornings to kind of get her warmed up for the rest of the day, where we'll be, going out, doing social work, having her work through distractions and things like that. So it's a good way for her to kind of warm up and get everything going. Been concentrating a lot on leash pressure, so that way she responds to more of the slighter tugs and pulls, just because Autumn can have a hard time holding her back if she starts pulling too hard. And so the way that we're starting to really try to recondition her behavior is when she gets excited and starts following a scent on her nose, I'm gonna start to pull back a little bit on the leash, so that way there's pretty much no more room. And then when the tension happens on her part, I'll either call her back, or hopefully she'll just come back on her own, and then we can give her praise and the reward. Oh, good girl. Lana, come. Touch. Good. Want to get her used to coming back to our sides for the treats and just taking them while we walk. It'll help to ease into good heel practices later on. So once again, I'm just looking for her to get distracted by her nose and to start following a scent. And then I'm going to start to either stand still or slowly pull back. And what we're looking for is for her to realize that tension on the leash and come back to us. So here we go. Oh, good girl. Good job. Come on. She's been doing a really good job of just following with focus, paying attention to when I turn and move, or I stop and start. So that's been going really well. That's why the emphasis for today is going to be kind of just leash work in general. We'll start off slowly with less distractions, and then we'll try to move to more exciting or nose stimulating places. So we'll be practicing both out in like a public area with hopefully lots of people and other dogs, and then also a more of like a trail area as well. And that'll be good practice also for Lana's roommate Ruthie, because she gets distracted more in the wilderness on the trail. So, among the critters and different smells. girl. Right now she's doing great, so good girl. Every now and then I'm still just going to give her at least always the praise and recognition when she's following me and doing a really good job of walking with no tension on the leash and just paying really good attention to me. So that's really good to promote, but especially right now, yes, good girl. I'm kind of giving her more leeway and not micromanaging the leash to keep her close, because I kind of want to get more practice with her being distracted and pulling away from Autumn. So very specific work is sometimes what you'll want to do with her when you're having specific issues. Okay, and then when we come up to crosswalks, I want her to feel the bumps and stop. You can kind of see there she walked over them, but has gotten distracted with the car, people going in and out. So I want to see if she moves or if she comes back and pays attention to me. We always want to kind of full stop at crosswalks until released. Good girl, very good. Another thing that we touched on was making sure that she still stays even after she gets the treat. Some pups, they'll believe that after they get the reward that the task is over, and for the most part that's going to be right, because we're going to treat them after they do something that we want. But for something like stay, we really want to solidify that she's staying until we release or until we walk, and so she's trying to keep up with us. So here she's just staying. Good girl. I'm sleepy. No. She was up pretty early with me this morning too. All right, ready? Let's go. Good girl, very good. Good job. So then I'm gonna give her another treat for that. She was staying calm and focused and waited for me to move again before crossing the street. So that was really good. Got a couple birds up ahead. Hopefully that'll help to distract her. Oh, perfect, a rabbit. We'll see if she moves. Hopefully the camera's catching it. Oh yes, good girl, thank you. Very good, good job, thank you. Good girl. Definitely going to reward her for that one. Peeling her attention away from the rabbit over there and checking back in with me. She still sees it, it's still there. So we'll see if she pulls towards it or anything. It's now running away. She's not running after it, which is great. Good girl. Seen everything from rabbits to a fox, what is it, to possums and skunks in the neighborhood. So there's some wilderness here. Cats too. There's definitely plenty of stray cats in the area. So here's a good opportunity. Right. She's caught the scent. Just following her nose. She's already had her potty break in the morning, but not gonna rush her along or anything. Good girl. Just because I'm really looking for Lana to pay attention to me with little to no input. Okay. So right there, she's caught something on her nose that's interesting. And I'm just gonna, good girl, thank you. Earlier mornings like this are really good for these kind of practices. Just because the streets are quieter, we'll be doing a little bit of off-leash. Oh, good girl, good weight. Just randomly stopped to see if she'd noticed. A little bit of off-leash practice as well. So it's good that there's going to be less traffic going about, and it's quiet enough in the mornings that you'll be able to definitely see or hear cars coming before doing any of those practices. It's great for when you would like less distractions but can't make it to, say, like a quiet park or something like that. So sometimes the different times of day that you're going to be working with her will help as well. Like a walk in the neighborhood at, say, 6 in the morning is going to be very different from a walk in the neighborhood, say, like 4 or 5 in the afternoon on a Saturday. Same area, but you'll get a lot of different distractions just from the difference in time and day. Good girl, she's doing really good. While it's quiet too, we've also been practicing her responding to recall on the drop of the leash. I went ahead and attached a bell on here. It's relatively quiet when you hold it in your hand to stop the vibrations. And so that way it's not just ringing the entire time. But if I do need it to ring, or if it comes out of my hand because she pulls, then it'll make more of a sound than just maybe a soft leash hitting the floor, which could be pretty quiet. Okay, we've got a car coming that way, so we're gonna go ahead and wait. She's actually getting distracted by her nose, so I'm gonna stand here. Hoping she hits the tension and comes back. Oh, good girl, good job. Good girl, thank you. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get ready to cross the street here. I want her to hit the dots and stop. Good, wait. So she definitely walked over them, but isn't recognizing that that means for her to stop and wait for me yet. But it's something that we're going to be working on consistency-wise to hopefully have her pick it up. She's really good though when we are kind of sitting and waiting at the crosswalk. Good girl. Wait until the release or until I walk. And we're just extending those waits to help develop that patience too. Good girl. And then we start walking and she starts walking. Seems like a very simple and minor thing, but little things like this really show that she's paying close attention to what we're doing and where we're going. And that's going to help Autumn greatly, because that means that she will have to give Lana less inputs, and Lana will be more so paying close attention to Autumn, which is definitely what you're looking for. Okay. So once again, letting her kind of get used to different smells and everything. Hoping that she'll find a trail that's so interesting that she just, suddenly starts following it like she did before and kind of veer off. I'm paying close attention to not only what's in front of me, but behind me. That's something that we'll want to practice with Autumn as well. For this instance, it's just so that way I can make sure no cars are coming before we practice any leash drop work. Okay, so just letting her follow her nose, seeing if she has to use the bathroom. a good thing is about a lot of these walking exercises is if she fails on one thing, it's good practice for another, right? So if she fails to focus on me and follow where I go and when I stop or when I start walking or what direction I change, it's a good opportunity for her to learn to redirect her focus or that recall on the leash drop or the leash pressure, right? Felt a couple raindrops. Didn't think it was gonna rain today. Probably should have checked the weather. Might not be the best to stay out, especially if there's already something wrong with the microphone, because this stuff is not waterproof, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna wait for this car to pass, and I'm gonna stop and let her pull the leash out of my hand. We'll see. She's actually not moving forward anymore. Okay. Start walking back. Oh, good girl. Good girl, Lana. Up here? Good. Good girl. She's doing really well. Like I said, it's good because she's following with focus and paying close attention to what I'm doing, even when she kind of gets distracted here and there. So with the car and usually with the smells. So now once again that there are no cars coming around behind us or in front of us, just gonna go ahead and not hold on to the leash and just keep walking. Then when she either gets distracted, I'll stop, see if she keeps walking. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Okay, we'll try again. There's a squirrel and a person with a dog. Oh no, it's just a person. Person and a squirrel and a bird. All right, here she goes. Good girl, come. Perfect, good girl. And that's what we were talking about there. It's just the fact that she started following her nose a little bit too quickly, and that tension was enough to pull the leash out of my hand. I mean, I wasn't really holding it, but for practice sake, it was enough to take the leash out of my hand. And then she recognized the sound of the bell dropping, stopped, turned around, and then we practiced the recall, which was perfect. Now we're gonna start walking again. Go ahead and fix her paw here, or fix her leash. There you go. So we've got one person coming up on the sidewalk, and she definitely notices him. Good girl. So what I'm looking for is for her, instead of going to greet him, to stop and check in with me. He's also walking and talking as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move over to the side here, add a little bit of leash pressure so she follows. Now she's getting excited. Good girl. Hi, how you doing? So I'm gonna hold the leash so she can't move forward on her own. Good girl, very good. Perfect. Good. So instead of going forward there, she turned around and checked back with me. Excellent. Good girl. Yeah, you're doing so good. All right. We'll try to showcase the leash dropping exercise again. It's also really good to do in a court, just because you'll know that the cars can only come in from one side of the street, or even like a street like this where it's kind of really two main avenues off of the main street to watch for. So here you can kind of see she still needs a little bit more practice because she didn't respond right away, right? She kind of kept following her nose and the scents beforehand. Good girl. But at least she still came back. What we're looking for is kind of like the first time where she pulls, the leash drops, and as soon as it hits the ground, she redirects back. So what we're gonna do this time is just kind of drop it and then immediately recall her to kind of get her conditioned for what that means. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Very good, good girl. All right, once again, we're gonna just do this exercise back to back today when, it's appropriately quiet out. I'm gonna start off with her not being distracted and eventually move up to her being distracted by other things. People, squirrels, rabbits, cars, well, probably not cars, but noises, maybe kids playing. Anything that will make it so she has to refocus when she hears that bell is gonna be really good. And if it does rain today, that'll be something that we can actually practice inside pretty easily as well. It's just getting her conditioned to hearing that bell hit the ground and coming back to me for a treat. So we'll definitely have some good options today in case it does rain and we won't be able to do the wilderness walk. So once again, she's following her nose. Don't want it to rain too much. Okay, so she's got people there now that she's distracted with. I'm gonna drop. Yes, good girl, come. Perfect, good. And that's how we help her with those things. So she reacted by hearing the bell drop, turning away from the distraction, which was in this case the people loading up in their car, and I was able to add in that recall. Eventually we want her to just kind of do it all on her own when she hears the bell drop, but especially in the beginning, that's okay if she needs help. Good girl. Had to cross there. Could have probably walked all the way around to the next one because I'm really looking for those raised bumps at the crosswalks to get her used to, but unfortunately it's starting to drizzle a little bit. So we're gonna cut this session, it's almost about 30 minutes. We'll cut this session a little bit short, see if hopefully this audio turns out better than the first walk. And then we'll see how the rest of her day goes, and I'll see if we can record some more things for her. She did really good. We'll do just one more drop test here. If we can hopefully get her distracted. It's always a good problem to have when she's doing a really good job of walking close. see if she'll come back on her own after she heard that. Might still be too involved with her nose. Yeah, so that's gonna be a problem, you know, that Autumn's gonna have. Good girl, come. That we'll definitely keep working on for her. It's very understandable because their nose is so strong, so it's gonna just take some time and reconditioning to have them learn to, you know, ignore it and come back to us or pay attention to us. Good girl, good listen. Good job. But we'll keep at it. So right now we know if she's already on a scent and too distracted, that it's not conditioned enough. I'm gonna wait for this car to pass, and then I'm just gonna drop it and practice with her again. It looks like they're actually going the other way. There's another distraction there as well. Somebody else leaving their home. So she's more focused on the visual as well. So we're gonna try again now that we have no nose distracting her and nothing visually distracting her, at least that we can see. All right, so she's starting to pull. Lana, yes, good girl. Good job. Good sit, good girl.